So can you read a tarot deck that you don't know, right? Is this possible? And if so, how does this work? So I wanted to share a really interesting experience that I had with a friend of mine. We've just been getting to know each other, and she brought her tarot deck with her. It was much different than mine, and we were kind of just talking shop a little bit. And she asked if I would give her a reading with her deck. And I thought, okay, well, I've never seen this deck, but I guess I could give it a shot and see what happens. So I wanted to kind of share that experience with you. So I think the answer is yes, you can read a tarot deck that you haven't seen before, but there are certain kind of things that you should have kind of under your belt in order for that to kind of work for you. I think the first thing that you'll need is you'll need to have some basic knowledge about tarot spreads, right? You'll need to know how to infuse the cards with a question and kind of maybe pick a spread that will work for you for what you need, right? And so you need to be able to interpret things according to how they're laid out. The second thing is you should probably have a basic working knowledge of tarot, right? Even though some of the meanings and the definitions might be different. If you can do a tarot reading with a different deck, you can kind of translate it to a deck that you don't know, because a lot of things are kind of similar, even if the definitions and meanings aren't exactly the same, right? The third thing that you're probably going to need if you're going to do a reading for yourself, for anyone else with a deck that you haven't used before, is that you do have to have a good connection with your intuition, right? Now, whether this is just a basic intuition where your gut just kind of tells you things and that's how you get the information, or whether it is more extreme where you have developed your psychic abilities on any level, right? These are all things that will help you if you're doing a reading with a deck that you're not familiar with. Now, this person's deck was very different. It didn't follow the traditional structure or pattern of the Rider-Waite, how it's set up, right? It had a lot of different meanings and archetypes and different things in there. And while I was a little bit nervous, what I did notice was once I started reading the cards, I picked a spread I was comfortable with, and I asked a question, and it took me kind of a minute. It's kind of like learning another language. You kind of have to, like, your brain clicks over just a little bit and kind of downshifts, and that's how I was able to really do it. And I did an accurate reading for her, actually, which to my surprise, because I'd never seen this deck before, but it is possible. So if that's something that you want to try, don't be afraid. If somebody does that to you and say, hey, you want to do a reading with my deck? If it's different, don't be afraid, give it a shot. It's kind of a good way to test yourself, to see what you know, maybe what areas you need more help in. You might find a new deck that you really like. And I think it's a good way to kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit and really stretch your wings and realize how good you actually are at what you do, right? So, if you want to read somebody else's deck or read a tarot deck that you don't know, go for it, right? It is definitely possible, because you can draw on all of those other three things I mentioned to help you kind of work your way through whatever the reading is, even if the definitions and things aren't as familiar to you as you would have liked or would have hoped. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it encourages you guys to try something a little bit different, maybe out of the comfort zone for you, and learn something new. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and have an absolutely beautiful day.